It is time for a new season in TEPCOTT, the division-based GTA racing series. The first race taking place in a hill-based track, and the Division 6 that I was in used the TEPCOTT 770 as the car. Now, luckily, I had previous experience from the previous season, where the first race was driven in this car. But the fact that the track was located in the hills, I wasn't that confident about. I've never been a big fan of hill tracks, and my expectations for the race was hoping to finish around where I started off. The race start was pretty typical. A few crashes happening, and I managed to make my way through along with the leading pack, more or less. And I was thinking that if I can keep up with the cars in front of me, I might actually finish within the top 10. Now, in terms of like general speed, I had no idea how fast people were driving. So, given that this was the opening for this season, it was more about just seeing what kind of competition they were in, and just sort of trying to get a clean race. I hadn't done any other events since the previous season ended. To my surprise, the start of the race was pretty clean for me, and it seemed pretty even in terms of speed. Like the grid wasn't spreading out too much, and I had a feeling that I could actually keep up with the sort of the leader pack, more or less. Now, this fast bit downhill was pretty treacherous. Those Vectors had an unfortunate collision and flew off the track. It was pretty close for happening to be as well. Now, unfortunately, here going through the chicanes, I had a collision with Zombio. Took them out by accident. But I really enjoyed that section. When you got a good flow through it, it was pretty fun to drive through, pretty much flat out. Now, despite that crash, I pretty quickly caught up to the pack in front of me. Although immediately after doing that, I made a slight mistake and crashed out. Luckily, people in front of me did the same, so it was pretty easy to catch up again. Now, I could feel that I was slightly faster in overall speed, but I just couldn't find an opening to actually try to overtake. And at the same time, I was driving a bit more cautiously, since I wanted to avoid further crashes. Now, luckily, after this tunnel section, I managed to get some clear air and start driving without defending that hard. what I was hoping for was that our group would maintain a good speed, so the race leaders wouldn't get too far ahead. Now here Box has an unfortunate outing, and a little bit later on Trev as well has there's a little bit of crash, which enables me to get some positions. Now from there on I had good clear air, which meant I could catch up to Pines, who had crashed out, as well as Nexolas. And then I was able to catch up to Subaristic, who went a little bit wide there, giving me that 7th place. Now then I was keeping my eye out for the splits towards the next car in front of me, who was Askorbiini, as well as the cars behind me. So I thought that this would be a good spot to take my mandatory pit stop, which is a 10-second pit stop. Now I estimated that a few cars would get past me, which ended up happening. Now luckily I was just behind Nexolas, so I was able to drive the whole lap, keep up with them, and then take this overtake at the end part of the lap. And then the next position I gained with Silky having an outing, which put me in the 7th. And right following that I overtook Askorbiini, who was taking their pit stop, as well as Trev and Cloden. And that pretty much was the end of the race. I was able to keep on driving with clear air both ways and finish up in 4th, which was actually pretty shocking for me and didn't expect for a result like this on a hill track.